Honestly, we just had to settle down. Honestly, we were kind of like playing on our heels. We just had to be the hammer instead of the nail. So,
Josh, what are your thoughts on the performance you had against Oklahoma State? They challenged you a lot, but you only allowed so many catches.
I just wish I wouldn't have gave it a touchdown, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm thankful. You know what I'm saying? Because where I came from, but obviously I want to be one of the best. So
What's it mean to you guys as a program? You're part of something special. It's the first time in program history that you guys have beat three ranked teams in consecutive weeks. What's that mean to you as a player?
it means a lot. It goes kudos to the work we put in, the mindset. Every day we come to work, it's just for us to get better. Hmm.
Have you got a chance to watch much of Kansas State yet?
Yes, sir. They're a sound football team. They run what they run. They're not going to change for anybody. They have a good quarterback. They have good athletes on the perimeter. We just got to make sure we dial in, reading our keys, and get the ball carrier on the ground.
Is how similar is Martinez to Sanders, the Oklahoma State quarterback?
Dual threat, really the legs, but Sanders, he puts more like air under the ball, so you have time to recover. Martinez, he's more on the line throws. He doesn't hang the ball in the air. He wants to get it complete right now.
I know you want to hear something. I'm not going to ask you to compare what's happened here in the past, but with Coach Dykes, what do you see with him that makes this work for you guys and for him as a leader?
He's a great facilitator. He lets his coaches do their jobs. He doesn't try to hound or breathe over nobody's neck. He just real relaxed guy, just full of good energy. And like he always tells, like take a deep breath before the game. Like just play your game. Like he just like even show. That's what I love about him because it helps me too.
I know he's had some teams in the past that have had fast starts, but obviously didn't have the depth he has here and
Right.
get finished. What do you see about this team that you think will allow you guys to sustain what you've already started?
Uh, the wanting to come to work, not just saying it's another day at practice, but actually being present in practice, being intentional of what we're trying to get done, details, being in our spots, being on our guys, and just being on that type of mindset every day, really. Yes, sir.
Back at Kansas State, it's a different challenge for you guys with the type of offense they run. They're more of a run team compared to the last few teams y'all faced
Hmm.
that pass the ball a lot. How does that change for you as a cornerback?
I stick my nose in there. That's it. Cover when I need to cover, support in the run when it's time to support.
Josh, you play against that offense, every day in practice, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Quentin's had a good couple weeks. As a corner, what makes him such a difficult corner?
Uh, I say he's like he's smart. So you give him some, he got something for it. He got always got counters, and then he got basketball in him too. So he can move, he can shift his weight. Uh, Obviously he can go high point the ball. We all seen that the last 2 weeks. Exceptional route runner, physical when he needs to be. I mean, he's just great work all around talent. I love going against him for sure.
What was your feeling like as a player when you see that much energy coming from the stadium late in the game against Oklahoma State? How does that help you guys?
Always helps us a lot. Like that's what we count on as far as like other than ourselves, we count on the fans to help us get an edge or you know what I'm saying, momentum shift. We need the fans in the game just like we are.
So you guys are eighth in the country.
Hmm.
Have you played your best game yet
Me?
as
No,
a team?
no.
What could be better?
Starting fast, playing 4 quarters of our type of football. I'm pretty sure any other player would say the same thing. I guarantee you that, like 100%.
So what does that say about this group that it's been able to
Hmm.
do what you've done and win these 3, 5, 6 games in a row?
We got a long way to go. We could be even more special, like way more special. My vision, for what I see us, we could be number one. We just got to work.
Did you anticipate that when you got here, or is that something you've seen grow since you've gotten here?
It's grown over time. it's kind of hard to see stuff day one, but it's growing over time definitely. And my confidence in the guys is growing every day as we go. So like sky's the limit to where we can take it.
How much do you think your teammates believe the same thing you believe as far as taking it forward?
I mean, I put it like this: it takes somebody to believe in it 100% before somebody else does it, because it's kind of like they kind of shaky. But at the end of the day, as a leader, that's your job for everybody else to, you know what I'm saying, get everybody else to buy in. But as a team, collective group, we're buying in pretty well. We just got to keep buying in until the season over, till we get to where we trying to get. Like, it never stops. Getting better never stops. So we got to always keep trying to put something in the bank, put something in the bank, put something in the bank.
Has it changed for you guys, though, when you started the year, you were the guys that were gonna be spoiler makers, and now people are gonna try to spoil y'all season being number 8. Does it change for y'all, the mentality, message to younger guys, anything like that?
It don't change, but we just got to dig deeper. Put more quarters of football together.
You said you went against Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Kendrick Miller run too.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it to tackle Kendrick?
I mean, we never just been in open field, so I really can't speak on that, but he's a raging bull when he run that ball, though. He run with his nose down, his pass low. He trusts his legs, he keep his feet turning, so I'm pretty sure for other teams it's kind of hard to tackle him, but personally, I've never been in a situation to, like, test him or nothing like that.
When you see him run over another defensive back, how does that fire you up? Do you feel sorry for the guy trying to tackle him?
I definitely feel sorry for him, but I really don't, because we trying to win, so if he keep running people over, hey, it's easy on us as a defense.
Anything else for Josh? Thank you.
All right, y'all take care.
Here we have Wes Harris, offensive guard next, and we'll go straight to questions.
What's up, everybody?
Wes, you've been around here for a long time. Did you anticipate this coming this season? You guys being where you are, ranked number 8, undefeated.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think. I mean, I think everybody knew we had a chance. You know, we've always had the guys in here. I mean, I feel like, honestly, we've always had good coaches, too. It was just kind of all piecing it together. So I don't want to say we're going into the year thinking we didn't have a shot to be where we're at now. I think we've always known we've had a shot, and we're finally just actually putting it kind of together piece by piece, week by week. So.
They're late in the game. You guys were really getting the run game going, and basically enforcing y'all's will on the defensive line for Oklahoma State. How much did the training from Coach Cos and nutrition, how much did that play into a factor of you guys being able to do that?
Oh, it's next level. I mean, I feel like you can kind of see it almost in every game we've played. I feel like it used to be kind of we've had a lot of guys dropping out. And I know last week, we did have quite a few guys go down. But, I feel like in the past it was always we'd have 6, 7, 8 guys go down the game. And then, it was kind of vice versa. It'd get late in the game and they'd start blitzing us more, and they'd start kind of containing on us. And then vice versa, they could run the ball on our defense. And now it's kind of flipped, Like I said, I feel like it's a huge mindset deal. Like nutrition-wise, it goes back to that. But, I mean, they just install so much confidence and, like, that don't stop mindset, Don't ever get complacent and comfortable where you're at. But I feel like it's finally to the point where you can feel that, and it's fun. You pick up on that stuff. You can feel that the defensive line giving in, the defense giving in, we're running the ball and they can't stop it. And so I think not just us, the defense feeds off that as well. And, it's fun. It's definitely a good feeling, so.
Obviously, new coach, Coach Dykes comes in a different, setup around here. Obviously, what difference has Coach Dykes made to what's happening right now?
Man, he's done a great job. Him and the whole staff, honestly. They're not just great coaches, they're great guys. Everybody they brought in is just tremendous human beings. I don't think there's many, if any, guys down there in that locker room that would say anything different than that, too. They've all done a great job, and I feel like the main thing is I think it all goes back to the confidence, man. They pump us full of confidence. I feel like that's kind of been lacked here, honestly, not just throughout the team-wise, now we go play, whoever we play, we're going to go run these dudes out of the stadium. And I feel like it's been showing, the last few weeks we started a little slow, but, we didn't get down. There wasn't 1 second in that game where, we were down by 17 at one point. You could tell on the sideline, nobody was freaking out. Nobody was worrying. Went into halftime and made our adjustments, and that was his main thing. He was like, man, we can go out there, we can play like we know how to play and we're capable of, or we can keep doing this and get beat. There was never no freaking out or worrying. And like I said, it goes back to confidence, man. They've installed a lot of confidence in us, and it's rolling right now, and it's working.
At what point since they took over, whether in spring or did you sense that this could come together like this?
Oh, I knew the first day of off season. They had us up there at 5 a.m. doing workouts. We didn't even touch a weight, and everybody was like, oh, my gosh, that's the hardest workout I've gone through. But honestly, I'm saying a week, 2 weeks in, man, everybody was getting there early. We'd show up at 5 a.m. every morning, Monday through Friday. There are guys coming up here on Saturdays, Sundays doing stuff. It hadn't been like that in the past, And it's just, I honestly did. And I didn't get to go through spring. I was dealing with the injury, so I kind of got to sit back, learn the offense, watch everybody. But you could just sense it, man. You could sense it early. Everybody was coming together as a team. Shoot, after a one-on-one pass rush, the offensive line, D lineman, we all break it out together. That's normally it's blood in the water when we see each other. So, I just feel like everybody's coming together as a team, and you could. I feel like you could see that pretty early on, honestly, in spring ball.
Was your freshman year 2017?
Yes, sir.
So you were here when Sonny was here as an offensive coach.
Sure was. Yep.
Were you around him at all?
I talked to him a little bit. It's a little different. He was an analyst, so we didn't hear much with him or get to work with him a whole lot. I did meet him. I remember in high school, he offered my brother and I a scholarship, and he was the one coach that offered both of us, and I always remember that. So when he got here, I got to talk to him a little bit here and there, but I remember the first team meeting we had when we hired him this year. I went up and talked to him. He's like, yeah, I remember you. So I remember him a little bit. He's a great coach. He's got a good resume everywhere he's been. So.
You didn't change your mind about you wish you'd gone looking out if you know what to do?
No, and I've been all in since I've been here, 100%.
What have you seen from Max? He's played with him for so long.
Yeah.
It seems like his story is finally starting to
Yeah.
potentially say Max.
100%, man. He's always been a dog. You can ask anybody around here and probably anybody we play, and they'll give you the exact same answer. He's just a winner. He's a gamer. Every time you look back there, it's just you feel confident with the guy behind you. And honestly, I think we got 3 guys that can go win games if we're being honest. But Max is on a different level, man. He's a great kid. He's got his head on straight. If anything ever's going wrong, we could be getting him killed, blitzed, hit all game. He won't come up and complain once to us. It's, keep going, keep y'all's head up, next play, next play. And I feel like that's a huge mentality for the team right now, this whole next play. No matter if we score, we get up a sack, flush it, next play, you got to go back out, right, and do your thing. But, man, Max is, he's been a leader ever since he stepped on campus. I voted for him team captain the past 4 years, so that'll tell you what I think about that guy. So.
Wes, what about the attitude and just the mentality that Coach Ricker brings to the O-line room and how
Yeah.
that's impacted y'all in a short period of time?
Man, it's big. You got to think, too, he's a guy who's actually, I think he had 42, 44 consecutive starts at, Mizzou in the SEC, which is arguably the best conference, most physical conference. So you got a guy like that preaching on you or harping on you. It's not, you don't look at it as a bad thing. It's like, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's been through it. He's been through camp, 2-a-days, the workouts, everything we've done. And he played the position at a high level. He was a good player. So, it helps. It definitely helps. Hearing that, he can just relate to it. You got somebody you can relate to. He's been in the exact same position, sat in the exact same seat as this, but he does, man. He's changed the culture, in that room. Really, in the whole offense in general, I feel it's almost more like attack mode. We're gonna come up, we're gonna line it up, and we're gonna see who's the best. We're gonna give it all we got and go at you. But he's definitely established a physicality. He's really big on that and finishing blocks, and I think he's helped us, a long way. So.
Wes, you've gone through some stuff. You've gone through some injuries.
Hmm.
You've made it back, playing great this year. You didn't have to come back either, but what was the reason why you decided to come back, and how glad are you that you came back?
Man, I was just talking to my folks about it the other day. I'm so blessed, man. I love this place. There honestly wasn't a doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to come back. I want to go out on top. I got hurt last year, season and surgery. I guess it was after the K-State week. And I did. I sat there and I thought about it, man. I was like, do I really want to I want to come back, you know, and ever since I was a kid, man, I've always wanted to go and at least have a shot at the next level, right? But I mean, more important than that, man, I love these dudes on this team. I love all these dudes, man, and I feel like we all want the same goal, man. We've always had the guys, coaching, we just haven't put it together. And I think we kind of all really sat back and realized, like, you know, we can do this, man. We can really do this, and that's the way I've looked at it ever since I've been here, man. I've dealt with a lot of stuff, like you said. Shoot, I've had 4 surgeries. I missed basically 4 out of my 6 years, man. But there wasn't a doubt in my mind. I was excited. I'm so blessed, man. I'm so blessed. I thank the Lord every day for it. Just allowing me to still be able to suit up and play football and, you know, still play at a high level. I don't take that for granted, and, you know, I never will. So I love this game, and there was no question in my mind that I wasn't going to come back and finish on the right foot.
What's it like being up front with this offense, this attacking mentality, and all of the weapons that are just continuing to emerge as the season goes on? You're in the huddle, and you look across at, you know, the guard or the tackle on the other side, and, you know, like raise your eyebrows, you know.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's pretty cool when you got guys like Quentin and D. Davis, you know, shoot all of them. I mean, we got guys all over the field. You know, we got guys that rotate in, you know, that are just as good as the guys we got playing on the first snap of the game. No, it is funny, though. Speaking of that, whenever Wiley, we're going to that game-winning drive, it was the one before he scored the touchdown. He caught that drag right over the middle, whatever, and he jumped. I don't know how high he was. I think he could have dunked the ball in like a 12-foot goal. He was up there. Andrew Coker and I looked at each other, corner of an eye, and holy smokes. So, yeah, there's your answer to that. But it helps, dude. We got dudes all over the place, playmakers all over the place, and it goes back to the confidence deal, man. I mean, there's not one dude going out there, offense or defense, who doesn't believe in the other 10 guys, or special teams, who doesn't believe in the other 10 guys around him, man. And I know in the O-line room we say band of brothers. And, you know, I feel like, you know, the team's kind of picking that up too, man. But it's true. I mean, you got my back, I got your back. It's a band of brothers, right? I mean, like I said, the confidence level, not just in ourselves, but I'm going to do my job. He's going to do his job. They're going to do his job, you know. I mean, it's huge. But yeah, it definitely helps, you know. You feel confident looking around and seeing the guys we got in the huddle right now, you know. So.
Was the last 3 weeks you faced defensive lines at the time of you playing that were at the top of the Big 12 conference in sacks?
Yep.
What's been the key to executing against those types of lines, and is that something you can use moving forward?
Yeah. Man, the way I see it, I call them money games. You got big-time prospects on the D-line, D side of the ball. Man, it's just another opportunity for us to show people how good we are, not just up front, but as a unit, you know, as one. Because it's not just us, man. They got the way that these coaches can, you know, set a box for us, you know, to get double teams and to slide pass pro the right way. You know, it's more than just what we're doing up front. We got a long way to go, but it helps. It's a confidence booster, you know. I heard we ran for 230 yards, something like that, 250 yards. I mean, yeah, but here's the thing: you got to flush it, man. That's last week. The team we're playing this week, I honestly think they're just as good, if not better, on defense. I mean, they're a sound football team. They don't get out of their gaps. They're gonna make you bully them and beat them. Basically, you're gonna have to move them out of their place and beat them. But yeah, dude, I mean, honestly, there's no easy games in this conference. I think every defensive line especially, I mean, everybody's got big athletes, they're fast, and everybody plays hard in this conference. And I think everybody kind of knows it's, I don't want to say wide open, but shoot, I mean, anybody can get hot and run the table in this sucker, right? So I think we know that. I mean, every team that we're going to play has a good D-line, but I think we got a pretty good offensive line too. So, and it's a challenge every week, man, but that's the awesome part about football. You know, if you were going against somebody who wasn't good, that wouldn't be the fun part. There wouldn't be no energy, no juice behind it. You want to play against the best, right? And I think we have that mindset, and it's helping us, honestly. So.
Anything else for Wes? Thank you.
All right. Appreciate y'all guys.
So where was Sonny when he was recruited?
Sonny was at Cal.
Yep. We still count.
He was at Cal.
Can't keep up with him.
Yeah, I know. He was at Cal. I'm the perfect though. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Well, I think I could do it. I was like 14, so I was locked in already.
Okay, we'll have Coach Dykes at 11:30.
I appreciate it, y'all. Thank you.
Thanks, Wes.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I have a blanket. I just put it around me at my desk. All right, do I start with do I talk first or y'all ask questions? What do you? Okay, all right. All right, just ready to get going. After the win Saturday, I think our guys were in a good place, came back on Sunday, had a good frame of mind, and had good work done today. I think it's been a good half of the season so far, and I think we've accomplished quite a bit. And I think our guys understand that, it's been good to get off to a fast start, but really this season will be judged on how we finish. And so it's going to be really important for us to play well Saturday. I think, Kansas State's a very good football team. I think in a lot of ways the most complete team we've played this year. Just, hard to beat. They know how to win. They got a good formula for doing it, and I think they're really playing well. Obviously, coming off of a bye, should get them rested and fresh, and and they're playing with a lot of confidence and momentum right now. So it'll be a big challenge for us. But looking forward to, having another great crowd here Saturday night, and our fan support's been outstanding. And I think our guys are excited about having a night game and playing against a great opponent. So, we need to have a good week of preparation and go play our best on Saturday.
Coach, kind of a big picture topic first, with the NIL and the transfer portal and people wanting to talk about the demise of college football and what it's going. You look at the play, it's actually been really good, probably better than what the NFL is. What does that say and what does that mean? And I mean, are you in agreement that the play's at a high level right now?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's more parity probably right now in college football than there ever has been. I think there's more upsets, certainly in the Big 12 when you look at our league. But you just look around college football and there's just great games. There were some fantastic matchups Saturday, and had a chance to, when we were done, watch some really, really good football games Saturday night, and caught a little bit of the second half of the game last night, and that wasn't near as entertaining as USC Utah was Saturday night. You know what I mean? And so it's just, I really do believe it's a great time for college football right now. We've come a long way since 2020 with all the stuff that was going on, and I think there was some legit concern about what's the future of the sport, and I think it's rebounded and probably enjoying a bit of a renaissance right now. I think it's as competitive as it's ever been, and it's fun to watch. A lot of great games and a lot of great storylines and stuff happening. So it's been a great year so far, just across the game.
Sonny, you're halfway through the season, first year. Back in June, not that you were getting too far ahead of yourself, but are there things at this point in the season that have surprised you about this team and other things that have not?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the one thing that you always have to be careful with teams is, you can have a pretty good assessment of the collection of individuals. You can kind of say, well, we think this guy's got a chance to be a good player, and we think this guy has a chance to be a good player, and we wish we had a couple of more guys at this spot, and but it's hard to say this is what our team is going to be until you line up and start playing in September. You get a sense for it, I think, during fall camp. You think what things are going to turn into, but sometimes it turns out the way you think, and other times it doesn't. So that's it's been good to see us be able to overcome adversity. I think that's been the one thing for me that's been really impressive, is just our guys' ability to focus on the task at hand. They've been really good about doing that. Not getting ahead of themselves, not talking about, all these things they want to accomplish. It's been more about the journey and taking one step at a time, and, being able to string together positives that lead to a positive outcome on Saturday. So that's been fun to see. Some teams struggle with that. Sometimes it takes a number of years, really, before you can get the players to start to think that way or see that. And again, to these guys' credit, they have adopted that pretty quickly. And again, I think a big part of that has to do with, the work that was done strength and conditioning wise from January up until really July. And the work that continues to be done. Our guys are working hard in the weight room, and typically you have strength numbers that decline as the year goes on, and our guys continue to get stronger. And again, a lot of it has to do with, a lot of different factors, but we're continuing to get stronger. So it's been that part's been fun. Still early. I think, as I said earlier, I think to me when we look back at this season after it's all done, obviously we'll remember what happens here over the next 6, 7, 8 weeks, and how that stuff plays out, and that'll determine really how we feel about this whole thing.
Coach, in your career, have you ever had to go through a grind like you guys have gone through the last few weeks? And now this week you're facing 4 ranked teams.
Actually, yes. Kind of on a different scale, but when I was at La Tech, I remember we had 7 games left in the season, and we were 1-3, if I'm not mistaken. And I think we had 5 of the 7 games on the road. They were against Nevada, Fresno, Utah State, San Jose, and Ole Miss were the road games. And I remember telling Kate, it was year 2 at La Tech, and I remember telling Kate, I was like, I don't know how many of these games we're going to win, if any. And we won every one of them. Won all 5 of them on the road, and won the last 7 games of the regular season. So, that was a fun run to get on. And it was similar to this. Again, not as many ranked teams, but teams at that point were really going to be hard for us to beat at La Tech at the time. So, but yeah, I mean, this is a grind. I mean, four ranked teams, and then a trip to West Virginia, and then, but that's kind of life in the Big 12. I mean, that's the one thing that's going to happen in our league. You look at Oklahoma State and Texas are both 1-loss teams in the conference. Well, one of them is going to have 2 losses on Saturday. And people start knocking each other off, and the thing you want to do is just try to handle your own business and figure out a way to win a game and try to stay alive as far as the conference standings go. But yeah, this is pretty unique to play 4 ranked teams in a row.
With all the running backs you've been around in your career, how tough of a runner is Kendra Miller?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably, honestly, is the guys I've been around, probably as physical a runner as I've been around in my career. Just, runs really hard, finishes runs, plays with a great pad level, really exceptional balance, got leg drive, really does a nice job pass protection. I think that's the one part of his game that he's probably improved the most. Had a big block in the game Saturday where he scanned all the way across the protection, and Max stepped up in the pocket and had a big play as a result of Kendra's block. So that's where he's improving a lot. And so his game he's a complete running back, and he's a good open field threat for someone who's as powerful as he is and catches the ball well. And I think he's just a really good running back. He's one of the best ones in college football. I really believe that.
Sonny, the first 4 games, Quentin Johnson had 12 catches. Last 2, he has 22. Is that something that was just schematically done?
A little bit of that has to do with he's a little banged up early in the season, and we were trying to play him enough to get him experience and try to get him into a routine, but at the same time, not too much where we were going to hurt him, any further than he was already hurt, and didn't practice for a little bit. So I think a big part of that is it's like anything else. I mean, it's the product of Quentin being healthy. It's the product of Max really playing at a high level. It's the product of Quentin and Max kind of getting on the same page. And I think it's also the product of us really having to rely on him in some tight ball games. But he's answered the call every time we've asked him to do something. I mean, he's done it, and I think he's a little bit like Kendra. I think you look at Quentin and you say, well, he's a big, tall guy. He's a great down the field threat, but he's exceptional on screens and catch and run opportunities, and just the kind of mid-level, mid-range passing game. He's really good at that stuff as well. And when we throw him a curl route, he does such a great job of getting vertical and takes people's angles away from him. And he can turn a 12-yard curl route into a 40-yard gain. He just does that over and over and over again. So he's just got a unique skill set. I think he's kind of uniquely talented. Not many guys that have his size and just have his explosiveness. And he's like everybody else. I mean, he's still far from a finished product. He's working on becoming more consistent, and just like we all are. It's just I think, but he's starting to hit his stride. I think at the right time for sure.
What does that do for an offense, for a quarterback, for a play caller to have that?
Yeah, I mean, it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, when you feel comfortable going to somebody and you say, okay, look, let's get this guy the ball. It makes your job a lot easier as a play caller, and makes the quarterback's job a lot easier when he can trust that he can throw him a pass and he can go get it, or we can throw him a screen and he can make a play. Or when you have guys that can make plays, it takes a lot of pressure off everybody. Quarterback, play caller, offense, everybody.
So you're halfway through your first year at TCU, so I know there's a long way to go. You got this program back in the top 10, which is what some people have gotten used to. Your experiences as a coach, you've been here before, you've been 6-0, you've been 7-0. What experiences do you take out as an older coach that you feel like you've learned?
Well, I think like anything else, sometimes you get caught up in it, and you kind of, you think, okay, we have to do something different. Or I think as you win more, the expectations increase. I think if you don't handle it the right way, the expectations then start to become pressure, I think, in a weird sort of way. And you get a little bit of probably what happened to us on Saturday, where I felt like we were a little tight in the first half and tried to do a little too much. But again, I think the great thing is we learned, from that game not to do that. And I think we also learned that if we go play and perform like we're capable of, that's going to be enough to give us a chance to win. Gave us a chance being down 17 to rally and still win the game. And we didn't make any exceptional plays or do anything. We just made routine plays and did our job. So it's a good learning experience for our team and, for our coaches. And, there was no panic. I mean, I don't think that we didn't blitz every play and we didn't drop back and throw every play. We just kind of kept our head down and kept doing what we thought was going to give us a chance to win, and we just did it a little bit better. So you learn how to do that, I think, as a coach, the more you're in this position. But again, the great thing about our team is I've been part of teams that got ranked, and you heard people talking about rankings all the time, or bowl games or conference championships, and I've literally never heard one of our players mention any of that. Never one time. And quite frankly, we haven't talked about it once. And we haven't talked about conference standings to our players. We haven't talked about being bowl eligible. We haven't talked about rankings. I mean, none of that stuff. It's just been, hey, man, let's have a great Tuesday practice. And let's string a bunch of those together and see where that gets us on Saturday. So I think that's the thing you learn. It's just, go through the process and, continue to focus on the process, and then you hope you get the results that you want.
How much honor do you having, though, as a Texas guy, as a guy who's one time was a high school baseball coach, and
Yeah.
even though you want to be here, and here you are early.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. I mean, look, this is a cool place. I mean, that game was a blast Saturday. I mean, that's something that I'll remember forever. But it is something that, in a weird sort of way, you try to, take it in, and you try to learn from it, and you try to, compartmentalize it and move on. And then at the end of the year, you kind of sit back and you kind of enjoy that stuff, really. And you let yourself enjoy it for a little bit on Saturday, but, you really, you can look back. And to me, that's always better looking back anyway, after it's all over with. And again, I've been here before enough to know that when it doesn't end the right way, it takes all those happy feelings away. And so we just gotta keep grinding, and understand that and appreciate the stuff, enjoy the moment while you're in it, but at the same time, you put it into context and understand that, all those wins count the same at the end of the day. They're all important and they're all critical, and they all help you get where you want to go. If we'd lost to Tarleton, then we wouldn't be having a whole lot of these conversations, and so every game's big and every game's important, and the only thing you can control is your preparation and performance, and so that's what we got to focus on.
You're halfway through the regular season. Sometimes you see young guys kind of hit a wall.
Yeah.
You got, really, I guess, three freshmen. Well, you got more than that to play a lot. But Dom and Hudson, even Laminack, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you see any?
Not yet. No, not yet, especially not with Dom. I mean, Dom, I think, is just kind of different than most freshmen. He's just he's just so well prepared. Typically guys get a little bit overwhelmed. It used to happen probably more when, the freshmen would report in August, and, and all of a sudden they had to go to classes, and they weren't accustomed to college classes, and they weren't accustomed to the schedule and the routine. Now these kids get here so early, and some of them get here in the spring, and now they have a chance to, go through a full year of strength and conditioning almost, and a full year of classes almost, and they get a spring semester sometimes, and then summer, and then the fall is kind of their almost like a year that they've been here, even though it hadn't been that long. And so I think, these days, some of that stuff's different, and these kids, I think, in a lot of ways are built different and trained different than they have been in the past. But there's so much stuff that goes into it now over the summer as well. So you still see guys get a little bit overwhelmed, I think, at times, especially, first semester freshmen. But there's so much more adjusted now than they have been in the past. I don't know that they don't hit that wall probably as much as they used to.
You did talk about at one point back and off Laminack a little bit.
We did, yeah. Yeah, and he kicked a lot better this week as a result. Yeah. Yeah, I felt like we probably kicked him too much the week before. His kickoffs weren't as good against Kansas as they had been. I think he probably kicked too much, and felt like that he kicked a whole lot better last week.
Have you had to talk to Chandler about what this?
Not really yet. I know that it's like anything else. I mean, his situation is going to be the same as Max's was. You just got to keep showing up every day, do your job, and understand that there's going to be an opportunity and be ready when it happens. And I think that's kind of the same conversation we have with Max, and I think that's, the conversation being had with Chandler right now is, hey, look, put the work in, work like you're the starter, and you're always one play away from being the starter.
He said 95 last week.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably even better this week. I mean, there's still times I can see a little bit of a hesitation, but very, very small. Yeah, not much anymore.
Coach, tough break with Marcel.
Yeah, bummer. Yep.
You have any status on that?
Yeah, he's going to have surgery today, so he'll probably be out the rest of the year. So, yeah, we're sad to hear that. I mean, really hate it for Marcel. He's just had a hard time staying healthy, and there's nobody that's worked any harder than he has to get back out there. So disappointed about that, but I know he'll come back and do everything he can to participate in spring ball and certainly be ready by next fall.
Coach, it seemed like on Saturday, all three units stepped up, and when one didn't play as well, the other one did not. Talk about the importance of playing that brand of football.
Yeah. Well, when you're down, you've got to figure out a way to get back in the game. And so much of the game is momentum. And so, at some point you got to get some stops, even if you keep scoring. So, we were fortunate. We started getting stops. Our offense started stringing together some drives, and before long, all of a sudden the numbers started to turn our way. And that's the way football goes sometimes. We played so poorly in the first half and didn't do a great job coaching. I didn't think we, put our players in as good a situations as we probably should have in the first half, just across the board. But the good thing is there was two halves, and I think our guys made some great adjustments, and we got settled in and started playing with more confidence. And but momentum is a big part of that, and we've talked about it over and over again. Playing complementary football, when you get a stop and you score, and you get a stop and you score, and you get a stop and you score, it just puts pressure on people, and we were able to do that, and got to the point where, again, I felt like in the fourth quarter, physically, we just felt like we'd taken over the game. And I think that was, you could sense it on the sideline. You could see it in the run game, the results in the run game, and our ability to stop the run and our offense's ability to run the football. And then we felt like when we got to that point, then, we felt like we had a great chance to win the ball game. And so it took us a while to get there, and we needed to make some plays. And, there was a confluence of events that had to happen for us to win the game, and a big part of that was, getting the stops defensively, but also going on a 94-yard scoring drive as well. So all those things played off of each other and led to the outcome that we got. Yeah, we're thinned out a little bit at linebacker. Yeah, we've lost some guys, but that's college football, and you just got to kind of keep moving forward.
Coach, we had Wes Harrison here earlier. How much does it help on the offensive line to have a guy like that?
Yeah.
Just really for the team being a 6'3" guy like he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those players that just loves football. He loves it. It has an influence on the people in the room with him. I think he feels really blessed and fortunate to have a chance to play. He's been through so much and has had such a difficult time staying healthy that I think he appreciates the ability to go play in a game on Saturday and to win games and to be on this team. And, when you have guys that are appreciative, I think it permeates your entire program. I think there's just a different appreciation for the opportunity that everybody has when somebody like there kind of gets a sixth chance in a weird sort of way, and gets a sixth year. And so he's making the most of it. He's really playing good. We needed him on Saturday, especially when Alon went down and John has gone down. And so there's, Wes has played a bigger role probably than we thought he was going to. Just didn't know how well he would hold up. He's a very, very good player. But he's just had a difficult time staying healthy. And we tried to put a pitch count on him, really, to limit him and bring him along and not just throw him back in there so that he was going to get re-injured. And we had to kind of leave him in for all 9 innings Saturday. He played a bunch of snaps Saturday. But the good thing is, he's playing at a high level, and he seems like he's holding up physically, and we're lucky we have him.
Like you said, he's been here a long time. One of the things he said earlier about this team was there was a quick buy-in early on.
Yeah, yep.
What do you think that comes from?
Man, I don't know. It's a good question because, I've done this before, and sometimes it takes time. I think one thing about these guys, and when you kind of look at our team, and I've said it over and over, but they just like football, and football is really important to them, and they really want to be successful. And so I think collectively they just decided, hey, look, let's do everything we can do to give ourselves a chance to win football games. And so that's been their attitude is, we've tried to explain to them, here's why we're going to do these things, and here's how it's going to benefit you individually, and here's how it's going to make us better collectively, and here's why we think it's going to allow us to win games. And I think that's important. I think that the guys understanding, look, we're not just asking you this. We're not doing it because we've always done it that way. We're doing it because of this specific reason, and here's how it's going to benefit you and us. So I think when you teach that way, whether it's football or whether it's English, I think the buy-in's bigger, when they understand, okay, look, this is why this is important. This is why this guy's asking me to do this. This makes sense to me, and I understand the importance of it. And not only do I understand the importance of it for me, I understand the importance of it for my teammates. And so I'm going to do everything I can to make sure those guys are doing it as well. I think the connection with Kaz, I think helps tremendously. His work and just all the little things that we've asked the guys to do, once they leave the practice field, preparation-wise, whether it's rest, recovery, hydration, nutrition, whatever it is, supplementation. I think they've done everything we've asked them to do in that regard, and I think they see that it pays dividends. And I think, like anything else, the buy-in gets a little bit better all the time, hopefully. That's what you hope for.
Coach, on Saturday, you make offensive substitutions, trying to go tempo, the defense as a whole.
Yeah.
What's the explanation from the official for not stepping out in 4 seconds?
Yeah, I think they were doing the best they could. I think Oklahoma State did a good job of kind of manipulating that situation, and I think like anything else, the officials made adjustments and figured it out and kind of determined what they were doing, and I think did everything they could to make sure the substitutions were done correctly, and I thought it was perfect in the second half. And again, you got to give our the Big 12 and the Big 12 officiating group a ton of credit for that, because that's a hard thing to get right. There's so much interpretation within the rules and the way that things can be explained. And I was upset because I felt like it wasn't being officiated the way that it was supposed to be. And to their credit, I thought they adjusted and did it the right way.
I may have missed this, and these guys, I don't know, two guys that didn't play Saturday, I don't think. Colt Ellison, Blair Conright, is that just a numbers?
Yeah, they're both doing really well. Yeah, both doing well. It's just, but both those guys are important players for us, and Blair played some on special teams, and his role is going to continue to get bigger and bigger. And right now Blair is kind of a stopgap for us. He's kind of, bouncing between positions and can do a lot of different things for us. Very valuable guy, and same thing with Colt. I mean, both those guys will have big roles moving forward.
Basketball's got a big event Friday night. They got Ludacris in town. Do you have a favorite Ludacris song?
No, but my wife and kids are going, and I know my wife has several favorite Ludacris songs. I don't know any of the names of the songs, but I know some of the songs.
Anything else for Coach?
And I know my 6-year-old is really excited about it.
We have Kesha on concert tonight.
I think my 14-year-old's going to Kesha tonight too. So, big night. All right, thank y'all. Appreciate it, everybody.